I don't know that. Son goes there alone. I'd like to call to order the Superintendent's Information Committee meeting for August 3rd, 2015 at 7:06 p.m. We'll start with Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jen, can you please take roll call for me?
Sure. Mrs. Hissing? Here. Mr. Kachasik? Dr. Kostra?
Here.
Mr. Leonard?
Here.
Mr. Newell? Mr. Nemeth?
Here.
Mr. Petrucci?
Here.
Mr. Stovar? And Dr. Trey?
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you, Jen. Tonight, prior to tonight's meeting, we held an executive session that was conducted to discuss personnel, hiring of professional and non-professional staff, support staff benefits and substitutes, litigation update on a CWCTC Supreme Court appeal, confidential student matter, and the board also met with administration to receive information on various matters, including real estate developments, football schedule, construction update, policy revisions, recent passing of PT alumni. We will do special reports, CWCTC. Mr. Petrucci.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just real quick, there was no meeting in July. Our next meeting is April 19th, and the $6 million project, the punch-out list should be complete, and I'll give you a full report for our September meeting.
Thank you, Mr.
That's all, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Petrucci. IU, Mr. Leonard.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. The main order of business I'd like to mention was that we hired a new executive director, and all the board members are in the process of meeting with them. I believe our superintendent met with them, and it's going well. My meeting with them was about an hour, and it went well. He's asked for input from everybody, and I trust the administration's been brought into that loop, but I'm looking forward to a pretty good situation. I'm sure I'll have a lot more of a report come September.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Information, Dr. Harris.
Sure. First of all, I want to turn it over to Mr. Inglese to give us a project update on the high school building.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. I know there's a lot of people that I'm sure have some concerns if you walk the building, and it's certainly understandable. The building is still a mess right now, and there's a little bit of time to get it in order for school to start on the 27th for students. I can tell you that they're working very hard. The progress is going rather well. You know, a lot of the mess is there, and we're aware of it, and they're starting to do a lot of the cleanup this week and next week. The contractors should be done with the vast majority of their work on the 15th, which is, you know, it gives us 1 week to get ourselves cleaned up, get our maintenance guys, custodians into the room, start cleaning things, getting in order. Then teachers come back on the 24th. So as I said, you know, we're waiting for some casework and some science and art rooms, but we've been assured that's coming here very shortly. So we have a couple holdups in terms of some of the equipment, some of the material getting here, but once that's here, we're confident that school will begin on time, and the building will be in good order. It's not to say that we won't have a couple of little glitches and hiccups when school starts. I'm sure we will, but we'll be getting through it. We do have Catherine Stock from Acero and Hank from Axis Architecture to give us an update on the project so far. and some change orders that are here, and give us an update on our contingency to date.
Okay. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mike.
go ahead, you're on.
Like Scott said, progress is going well, and big turnover of a lot of work that's going to be completed August 15th before school starts. For change orders, there's not many this month. We found some more unit ventilators in some units that existed without any ductwork or roof penetrations. So our first change order, unfortunately, is the largest, but it's for $30,000 not to exceed, because I didn't have the roof patching cost at the time. But verbally, I believe this is about $5,000 less when all said and done. But we have to run ductwork, we have to cut the roof, we have to put in rooftop curbs and equipment in order to feed these 4 unit ventilators that didn't have anything existing.
This one's here because there were 4 unit ventilators that called to be attached to existing ductwork that was supposed to be attached to existing roof penetrations and existing roof curbs. Well, when they took all the ceilings down, the ductwork was not there, the roof penetrations were not there, so the contractors have to make the ductwork, install the ductwork, cut the roof, patch the roof, put the curbs in, those types of things for the unit ventilators, the new unit ventilators to work properly.
We have a credit of about $8,000 for some doors that just ended up not being necessary due to some grading outside. I believe this was at the annex. So that helped to offset some of the costs. There was an unforeseen gap issue where we're just putting an easy fix is $1,300 to change the base from 4-inch base, which you would see it along the wall, to 6-inch. It's taller. Makes an easy fix for an unforeseen gap. And then the last change order is like $10,000 for a detail at the stage. There's a handicap ramp that we're building at the stage that had to be modified and redesigned slightly in order to fit in the existing conditions of the stage.
What had happened there was the stage was shown to be all under a crawl space, that whole area. And in actuality, when the contractors got there, only a portion of the stage had a crawl space under it. The part where the ramp was going was actually a slab on grade concrete, so we had to change the way the ramp was designed and do some additional demolition and some excavation inside the building. So that's where that number comes from.
So contingency's looking good. We updated contingency to show both phases of the sanitary repairs and the final, I don't know if it's the final number on asbestos and testing and abatement for $14,400. Window repairs, the school contracted directly with Del Rey to do some additional window repairs that's not in the base contract. So they're doing that throughout the school right now too, try to get that all tidied up. And
so yeah, with the contingency, if you look at the items related to construction, we're conservatively say we're at 60% through construction on the project. The contingency there is we carry a 5% contingency. We've used about 1.4%, so we're tracking very well. We're tracking to be, if it continues to go the way it was, under 3% for the construction-related change orders on a renovation, which is fairly good. And then when you add in the other things like the sanitary work and things that we were doing, we're still tracking the total contingency used is still in a percentage less than how far along we are in the project. So we're tracking good construction-related, and we're tracking good overall still. So everything's still running well.
We're optimistic we'll have maybe $100,000 or $200,000 left over at the end of the project, hopefully more.
We should, yes.
Who knows what we'll find though.
Right.
So the other part of this contingency that we need to mention is, we put the second phase of the sanitary work out to bid, and it came back in. It was awarded to Sapancic Excavating. Sapancic Excavating came in at the high school, the second phase, at $97,991. They were also awarded the Trafford Sanitary Project. They came in at $35,868. So the contingency reflects that we have in front of us. So the sanitary repairs are all included, and you never know, we might run into some overruns depending on what kind of problems they run into when they start doing that work, but it should be done within the next couple of weeks. Any questions?
The roof penetrations, those are through guaranteed areas of the roof?
Yes.
And we're covering that base to make sure that...
Yes, the garland, your roof in that area is a garland roof, and it's required to keep your warranty that certified garland contractors do the work, and that's part of this number to have them do that.
Correct.
And the abatement number would include having the removal of all the old exercise.
Does the abatement number include that? I don't know.
I'm not sure about that.
I'll check on that.
Thank you.
We did have discussions on that.
We did, and I
We
can't
did.
remember what we,
I
just know he said don't dispose of it until they're not.
I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Even if
We're
it's
looking, we're looking into it, I don't know if that's in there.
Okay,
yep.
thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, and then that's all I have. Thank you, Scott. There's actually no other matters before the board at this time.
All right, thank you, Dr. Harris. At this time, it's time for recognition of visitors. We do have one visitor that has signed up to speak. The following rules are in effect. You must state your name, address, and group affiliation, if any. Your statement will be limited to 5 minutes in duration. All statements shall be directed to the president, and no participant may address or question a board member individually. I may interrupt your statement if your statement is too lengthy, personally direct, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. Rebecca Scott signed up to speak.
Yes, thank you. My name is Rebecca Scott. I am a representative of AFS, which stands for American Field Service. We are an exchange organization. I'm also speaking on behalf of the Judy family. Reverend Judy and his wife and 2 sons would like to host an exchange student. The exchange student's name is Alexandria. She is from the Ukraine, and she's actually a flex student. That means the Future Leader Exchange Program. It is provided by the State Department to Eurasian countries. So she's very competitive. She's academically stellar. She actually competed for this scholarship. The scholarship is only awarded in 1 in 50 students, and they would love to have a chance to host her this year. I actually received an email from them, and they've already started talking to the community. They have neighbors who are excited about the chance. I understand that the policy states June 30th. They didn't come forward until like last week. And I have spoken before to volunteers who have, been before the board before to ask for leniency on the policy. We greatly appreciate the great working relationship that we've had with Penn Trafford. We've been hosting students here since 2002 on record, so 14 so far. This would be the 15th one if allowed. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have any questions for anybody? Thank you, Ms. Scott. We'll take this under consideration, and we'll let the family know what we have decided.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Harris.
Sure. Next week, under athletics and extracurricular, we're going to ask you to accept the resignation. Employ athletic extracurricular personnel for 2015-2016. Approve volunteer coaches. Under budget and finance, approve expenditures relating to high school renovation for 2015. Some of those were addressed earlier this evening. Approve school resource officer program agreement for 2015-2016. There were no changes to the ones from last year. I have to already thank the board for approving that. I believe the school resource officer is used to his full potential, and I really appreciate having the program. We have a great relationship with Penn Township Police. We want you to approve the Penn Trafford School District's contribution to area library for 2015 to 2016. They were actually at a decrease according to the timeline that we outlined last year. Approve the purchase of the band uniforms, which would be a nice addition to our band students. Approve revised credit reimbursement amount for June, and approve the change order request. And some of those requests we talked about today in the opening. Next week, under buildings and grounds and safety, Approved list of substitute custodians for 2015, 2016, as well as the employee relations, negotiations, transportations. We want you to approve a list of bus drivers and substitutes for 2015, 2016. This is highly needed. If anyone out there is interested in becoming a substitute custodian, a substitute bus driver, please apply. We are in desperate need, and especially desperate need for classroom teachers. We have a very hard time finding substitutes, and unfortunately, it is in high demand. So please send the people our way. Under food service, approved list of cafeteria personnel and substitutes for 2015, 2016. Adopt a free and reduced lunch program resolution, which we do every school year. Approved the milk supplier for 2015, 2016. Under personnel and curriculum, designated official raters for 2015, 2016. Approved teacher assignments for 2015, 2016. Approved substitute teachers and support personnel for 2015, 2016. Issue professional contracts. I believe we have 8 of our teachers who are going to be issued a professional contract next week, which is great because this is their 3rd year of teaching. Or was I thinking of something different? That was right. That's right. That was 10 year. Approved leave requests, approved sabbatical leave requests, approved student handbooks, accept revised retirement dates, approved the textbook purchase. That's going to be actually for psychology because they actually changed the psych course for the AP guidelines, so we have a new textbook to go with it. I'd like to thank Mr. Davis, who worked very hard all summer because not only did he attend a 2-week conference.
I think it was 1 week in Philadelphia.
He spent all summer researching the book to find the best possible curriculum for his students. So I do want to thank him for that because I received probably an updated email each week based on what he was doing. So I know he was putting a lot of work to that. So I do appreciate that. Approved early admission request. We have one student who's going to actually be admitted early. This year we had 2 students apply, and then we had 1 student who actually made it early admissions. And today we're going to act on the following resolution. So is this something that you need to do, Mr. Neiman?
Yes, personnel and curriculum, Mr. Petrucci.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept the following resignations: Melissa Addicks, Student Board, Level Green, and Leslie Santacola, Penn Trafford High School.
Second. Question.
Second by Dr. Trey. Question being called for. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I want to actually thank Missy. Melissa Addicks, she got married and she moved, and she's going to be missed very deeply. She was an excellent teacher. She volunteered for many different activities for me, including 2 years of dancing with the teachers, and the second year she took home the trophy, so she's going away a winner. And she's always positive relations with her kids. Dr. Santacola worked for us this past year. It was her first year of teaching here, and she'll be highly missed too. She just decided this past week to send in her resignation, so she'll be missed as well, which means we'll be back to the interview process.
Okay. Move to employ the following personnel, employment contingent upon the receipt of all necessary certification documentation and acceptance of Act 34, 151, and 114 ways for Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The teacher's employment is effective August 24, 2015, to teach in the area of his or her respective certification is assigned by administration. A contract must be signed no later than July 23, 2015. I will just list the names: Caden Borden, Brian Carlton, Alexandria Cristoforetti, that's a good one. Tara Guerreri, another good one. Christy Hartman, Colleen Jones, Jessica Patizan, Jamie Riston, James Rocco, Stephanie Trotman. Library aides: Kimberly Rue, Amanda Stanislaw, Angie Thexton. Student learning assistants: Stacy Harden, Amanda Hawk. Special education classroom instructional aides: Gina Bosjanowski and Melissa Cheplik. I'm sorry if they're here and I chewed up your name. I didn't mean to do that. Long-term subs is Chelsea Mahosky and Joseph Pampilio.
Second.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
And some of our teachers are here tonight. Some of our teachers are on vacation, so I said, if you can't make it tonight, you can make it next Monday. And if you can't make it next Monday, you can make it September, but they will make it. Because this is important. Our school board takes great pride in hiring new teachers, and I'd like to actually have you always introduce yourselves to the school board, because this process started back in May. It seemed like it was a never-ending process, and all my administrators who were on the team, I do appreciate everyone who showed up and spent their summer with me. But first of all, Caitlin Borden, can you please just stand up real quick? Hi. Caitlin's going to be working at Sunrise Elementary School as a special ed teacher. Caitlin, you're actually, I'm just having this all by memory, so you actually worked at Propel for 2 years?
Yes.
Okay, and you actually were a 2005, 2006 graduate?
2006, yeah.
And while you was here, you was on the champion soccer team.
I was, yeah.
That was our first LAPL championship.
It was, yeah.
Game was on Elizabeth Ford. You beat Mount Lebanon.
We did, yeah. My sister and I were on the team.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank
on your
you.
job. Brian Carlton, thank you Brian, for coming. You spent Norton about 13 years?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you actually taught over there at the the Norton Middle School?
Correct.
All right, and you're going to be taking a job at the high school?
Yes, thank you very much.
Will you be working with the emotional support teacher as well as pushing, pulling the special ed? All right, well, thanks for being here. All right. Alexandria, Chris, I hope I get this right. Nick commented a couple of the names, but they make Italian names.
That's a good one.
Christopher Reddy.
Christopher Eddy, yeah.
This
you did
is
better
going to
than
be your very first year teaching.
It is, it is.
And I have to tell you, she beat out a lot of candidates who have 10 years or plus teaching. Because we try to take, we always go for experience, we threw in some green. And she just impressed everyone, made it to the end and took it. The teaching lesson was the greatest. And small groups, she had many small groups going on. She related it. A lot of kids were asking questions, and I thought they were killer questions. They didn't ask me, but she got them, and I appreciate it. So this is your first year, and we're very lucky to have you.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. And Tara's going to be here next week. Christy Hartman, one of our SLAs. Christy, how long, first of all, did you sub prior to becoming an SLA?
I subbed 2 years before I was an SLA last year.
Okay, so actually she's worked for us 3 school years. You also had prior teaching at a private school.
I did. I taught at a private school in West Mifflin for 5 years.
Okay, so about 8 years paid off finally of hard work and dedication and coming back. You have kids that go to Harrison Park?
I do. I have 2 sons, one going into 4th and one going into 2nd. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be pleased to have you here.
Yeah, and we love the district, and they love it too, so I'm excited.
It's a good fit. Chris will be teaching 4th grade at Sunrise. I
Yes.
forgot to mention that. And Alexandra will be teaching at Harrison Park, Level Green,
Tracker.
and Trafford. And she'll be teaching art. So.
Thank you.
We've had 4 different art teachers in the last year or so. Take your vitamins, we hope to keep you. All right. We hope to keep you there. Colleen Jones. Colleen will be working at the high school. She'll be working along with Brian Carlton. Half-day special ed emotional support and half-day special ed push and pull out. And you was at Woodland Hills for 2 years and about 13 years of PACE. Okay, 13 years. And you also have kids that go to the district?
Yes, 2 children that go to Stratford.
Both go to Trafford. Are you an alumni or is your family somewhat around from here?
No, I went to Woodland Hills also.
You went to Woodland Hills
But I
also.
live in the district, obviously, yes.
But you are a resident?
We're happy. I teach CCD at St. Regis as well, so it's fun. Thanks. Thanks for the
And
opportunity.
I came from a private school, teaching too, and you came from PACE as well for a year or so. What that means to us is step 3, so we appreciate you being here.
Yes, I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the last one who's actually here is Stephanie Troutman. Stephanie will be teaching at Sunrise. She'll be teaching grade 3. How many years have you subbed for us?
It was 5 years before I SLA.
5 years and a year of being an SLA. And Stephanie actually subbed for us art because even though at the time we didn't have, she wasn't an art sub, we was having a hard time finding someone for Mrs. Vaskov, but she completed 3 years, was it 3 years of ceramics?
Yes.
So you knew to just, and we needed ceramics, it was very hard to find someone to teach ceramics, and Stephanie just came right in and did it.
She almost took your job.
Just didn't have the degree.
Yeah,
I just wanted to get certified. She knew it.
It worked out nice for me.
A lot of hard work. Thank you so much for being here. Are you an alumni?
Yes, I am.
'Cause I remember that, but from what year?
2005.
2005. Oh, no, 2005.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming in. And we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
All right, did I miss any teacher by any? I got you all? All right, thank you. I need some good material for my first day of school. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, wait. You all can leave if you'd like to. You don't have to stick around.
Oh, there's only, well, you know what, there's only 2 more minutes, so.
I'll stick around.
I'm going to.
I was just going to say, if anybody needs a letter, I have the letter with revised date on. The first letter was August 10th for the meeting, and this is August 3rd. So if you need a letter to pass on to your previous employer, I have them right here. Or I'll mail them to you.
And actually, if you can get them at the end, I just want to give a chance just to thank each board member. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, move to employ Mary Beth Rakoseski as a behavioral specialist effective Monday, August 24, 2015. The out of contract is for 186 days. An annual salary of $45,000. She'll be entitled to all benefits outlined by administrative compensation plan. Employment is contingent upon receipt of all signed contract not later than Thursday, July 23rd, 2015, and subsequent receipt of all necessary certification, documentation, and extensions of Act 34, 151, and 114 waivers from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Second.
Second by Dr. Caution.
Question?
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Craig, if you can just take a minute just to describe that position.
It's a behavior specialist position where they will be district-wide, to be able to go into any classroom to provide assistance like a teaching model, also to help mostly for our PAW kids in life skills or autistic support, emotional support. When we have some heavy issues that are dealing with students' behavior, they'll be able to go in there, assess the situation, and then provide that daily interventions for them to help the teachers, to educate them as well. Special ed teachers as well as general ed teachers and administration. So we're looking forward to it because we had a contract that service out last year, and when you contract out, you don't get them on a daily basis. You get them maybe once every couple of weeks. So it's nice to have someone here in the district that can actually go into the classrooms.
I like the fact that he took the initiative to get that position for the district too, because it's going to be a much needed addition. And I believe she also came from Woodland Hills.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, she did.
We worked
too.
together.
There you go. All right. And next week, under Policy, Public Relations, Legislative Held 2, we're going to actually accept the file information committee meeting minutes of June 1st, 2015. Final approval of the revised policy 709.1 and administrative regulation 709.1 AR0. That's the entry onto school property and into school buildings. We're going to have the new Rapture system device set up at all the schools for parents and visitors entering the school district. Adopt the revised food allegations as administrative regulations 209.1 AR-5. Revised medication guidelines and administrative regulations 210 AR-0. And revised clinical guidelines for anaphylaxis as administrative regulations 210 AR-1. And we're going to also appoint a PSBA voting delegate. We won't have anything under taxes, insurance, or census. And back to you, Mr.
All
President.
right, thank you, Dr. Harris. Can I have a motion for an adjournment?
Motion.
Second.
Meeting adjourned at 7:34.